clouds and rain, and I am full of nothing and pain. Who soothes my thumping, bumping brain? Nobody.
The most enlightening thing about discovering the work was how rich it was, how much there was in it, realizing that this film was a product of a community of artists that had gotten together in 1913. They'd been given the opportunity to come together and appear in a feature film by a white production company. This was an unprecedented opportunity to realize that the film had never been released and to find a way to present it to contemporary audiences was the next kind of scary challenge that we faced. And that process has been remarkably rewarding.
Thank you, Seattle, for this amazing turnout. You know, if this film had been released in 1913 or 14, it would have played, this is the end of the Nickelodeon era, it would have played smaller neighborhood theaters. It would not have played a big movie palace like this. Very unlikely that it would have played a movie palace like this, even with Burt Williams as a star. Burt Williams, in his day, one of the three most famous black men in America, next to educator Booker T. Washington and boxer Jack Johnson. With his partner George Walker, he pioneered mixed-race performances on vaudeville bills and made an international sensation at the turn of the century performing the cakewalk with George, Ada Overton Walker, and comedian dancer Stella Wiley.
When they're doing the cakewalk, it really looks like the Soul Train line. I mean, absolutely it does. The dance itself is simple. I mean, it really is a walk. I mean, it really is just a variation on the walk, and you could say that all dancing is a variation on a walk. You walk and then you run and then you skip and you do the, I mean, when you teach children, that's what you do. So I think all the dances that we see are all contemporary popular dancing, vernacular dancing is all some variation on it.
As a comic performer, Williams has been compared to Charles Chaplin. Consider this. Both were intellectuals with similar backgrounds on the variety stage. Each was a master of pantomime and the blossoming smile. Each has signature costumes and mannerisms. For instance, each has a celebrated funny walk. Each had a stage persona that customers came expecting to see. And both were widely exposed in the mass media, in and out of character.
The way that Burt Williams walks and the movements that he does, I'm just really curious to ask if anybody knows. Who came first, Burt Williams or Charlie Chaplin?
Burt Williams.
Yeah, Burt Williams. This is one of the controversial things in theater history, but it shouldn't be controversial. If you look at the dates, Burt Williams is doing it first. If you look at the persona, Burt Williams is doing it first. If you talk to Charlie Chaplin, he more than likely would admit that Burt Williams did it first. When we talk about this film or these films, when we gather here in appreciation, we need to be open about the fact that we're here watching blackface and we're talking about minstrelsy. Burt Williams himself said that once he put on blackface for the first time, he began to, quote unquote, find himself. The story is that when Burt Williams put on blackface, he did it as a joke. He wasn't intending to be a blackface performer. He was just a regular vaudeville performer. He put on blackface as a joke. The audience, black and white, went insane. And then, from then on, he basically had to trod the line between the black response to blackface and the white response to blackface, which is in fact that line between laughing with and laughing at.
Of his work with Williams, George Walker wrote in December 1908, quote, "We want our folks to like us, not for the sake of the box office, because over and behind all the money and prestige that moves Williams and Walker is a love for the race. Because we feel that in a degree we represent the race, and every hair's breadth of achievement we make is to its credit."